Hi, I'm Ashley Steele. I'm the Center Director at C2 Clifton, and I am talking about using your summer wisely and avoiding summer brain drain. Thank you so much for Kim for having us at the Power of One office. So, what is C2 Education? C2 Education is a full service learning center. We offer K to 12 tutoring. We offer test prep for various tests. We offer academic counseling, and we offer college counseling. What sets us apart from a different type of learning center is our individualized approach with one-on-one instruction and in a small group setting. We're open year-round, and we're open 6 days a week, so it really is a flexible schedule. So school stops for the summer, but learning never should. Okay, I have a couple years of teaching experience, and one thing that I know from experience is we spent, almost 2 months reviewing once the school year started to get students up to speed and remind them and reteach what they learned last year. Okay, so what is summer brain drain? Okay, summer brain drain is that time over the summer where you are losing that retention, when you are losing and forgetting, about, what you learned, and that mainly will happen with your math and reading skills, okay? So I have some stats for you. So on average, students lose the equivalent of 2 months of math and reading skills during the summer months. That's pretty significant. More than half of the achievement gap between lower and higher income youth can be explained to unequal access to summer learning opportunities. So what that means is, higher income families do have access to learning programs over the summer. An example of that can be John Hopkins CTY program, which is a very advanced program where students, are learning higher level, college level, and this is like for students as young as elementary school age. Then, obviously then there's Boys and Girls Club, which offers, they do some academics, but mainly they do recreational, right? But so there's various programs, but it definitely differs in higher income and lower income brackets. Now, more than 25% of teachers spend at least a month and a half simply reteaching the previous school year. So that's something that I had just mentioned, that's something that as a teacher myself, I experience, and it takes away from what they can be learning new, okay? So that's something that if we, as educators and as parents, give our students opportunities to learn over the summer and keep their academics up and challenged, then they can start off the new school year without a gap, but ahead and ready and alert. So the big picture, okay, this is a standard math schedule, and if you see here on the top it says 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th, and 12th, okay? So track A is what the average student would be on. That means the student who's not necessarily excelling, a student who doesn't necessarily like math, a student who, maybe is not necessarily struggling, but is just, average, okay? And the way this is determined is pretty much happening in 6th grade, which a lot of families don't know. So specifically for Nutley High, I know they offer a test to all 6th graders where they pretty much determine the track you're going to be on for the rest of high school, okay? So what happens if you're a parent of a student who is older and is in 8th grade or is in high school already? The way you can jump to one of these more advanced tracks is by doubling up, having your child double up one of the school years. So for example, during freshman year, they can double up, and instead of just taking Algebra 1, they can do geometry as well, okay? Or in sophomore year, they can take not just geometry, but Algebra 2 as well. And you may be asking, well, why would I do that? Why do I want them to get ahead? Why should they be on one of these lower tracks, okay? Well, if your child wants to go to an advanced kind of school, college, okay? And if they're wanting to go into a STEM field, if they're wanting to go into pre-med, if they're wanting to do anything mathematical related, okay, and they need good SAT scores, then you're gonna wanna be on one of these lower tracks, because if they just stay on track 1, track A, the whole time through high school, they're at an automatic disadvantage when they take SAT and when they take ACT to get accepted into college, okay? So building a strong foundation. So how to keep your kids academically challenged over the summer? I would say focus on specific skills, okay? So for those kids who are, already struggling, if your child has been struggling for some time and your teacher, their teacher says, oh, they struggle with multiplication facts, or they struggle with sight words, or they struggle with, then focus on that, okay? So focus on the weakness areas. Now, if your child doesn't necessarily have, these glaring weaknesses, or you don't have specific feedback from their teacher about what they need help on, then just make time for learning, okay? I'm really saying that just 30 to 60 minutes daily, okay, focusing on not just reading, but on math skills as well, can really benefit your child, okay? So the way you can split that up is by saying 15 to 30 minutes of reading daily, okay? So take them to the library, have them find a book that they like, something that they're interested in, and have them read for a set time every single day. Then for math, have them do 4 to 5 math problems every day. So your school may give a summer packets for summer homework, so they can start out there, right? And then once they're eventually done with that, they can, you can just get a book from probably the library, and if not, go to Barnes & Noble. And I'm sure if you Google, you can just find a bunch of free resources online, printables, just print it off the internet, okay? Well, another note I'd say about math problems is focusing on word problems, okay? Word problems is an area where most students, and I'm speaking from my experience as a teacher, but then also at our learning center, is that word problems are a big issue. And the reason why is because literacy is involved, right? Reading comprehension is involved. So if we can help them comprehend what the question's asking, building their skills, then being able to do the math on top of that, then it's a win-win. Make it a game. So I'm a big proponent on this, and I tell parents all the time, whether they sign up with our program or not, is, make it fun. So in your driving to and from, school, in your driving to and from church or wherever, just quiz your kid, ask them, what's 5 times 5? What's 7 times 4? Quiz them, and it builds that automaticity that's important, that mental math skills. Those, not everything is, Common Core. There are things that need to be memorized and need to be quick learning and quick understanding. So just doing that can be very helpful. Then the license plate game. So this is really fun. So basically, if you're going to be road tripping a lot this summer, you're going to be taking trips down to Seaside, you're going to be visiting your friends in Connecticut. While you're on the drive, have your kids look at the license plate and, give them a math equation from the numbers on the license plate. Or, if it's from a specific state, let's say you see Illinois, ask them, what's the capital of Illinois? Okay? What's the capital of Washington? What's the capital, So just make it fun. You can really throw in that little bit of education along your way to your vacation, okay? So I'm going to start out with some tips for early elementary students, okay? So this is focusing mainly on K to 4th grade. I have taught kindergarten and I have taught 4th grade, so I have good experience with this. And these tips can really go to middle school and high school students as well, but I think this is a good place to start. So academic field trips, okay? So not everything has to be, going to Germany and going to France, right? But even if you do, you can even make that academic, right? By visiting museums, so museums of art, museums of history, museums of natural history, museums of science, okay? Many museums will have a free day of admission or a day where they have reduced admission, and that's a great way to take advantage, especially if you have multiple kids, okay? And then sometimes they even have education programs where there is a couple weeks where they have kids that go and attend and can be learning in a bigger scale, okay? Then the zoo or the aquarium, okay? I have found as a teacher, activities right online that you can download for zoo trips or aquarium trips, so you can too, okay? Go to Google, go to Teacher Pay Teachers. You can find some great educational resources for free or cheap. Then Liberty Science Center. So Liberty Science Center is super fun, and there's so many opportunities for learning. I know that they do have like a summer program, but then they do have, I believe, like a summer pass. But even just as a one-day trip is also very, very fun because they have seasonal exhibits. Summer reading. So summer reading is pretty much going to be, per grade level, super important. So I know that some schools are starting to stray away from a summer reading and doing book reports, but some still do, okay? So if you're in one of those schools that doesn't offer it, I would say, you can Google and find a summer reading list for the appropriate grade level your child is in. Also, you can go right to the library and ask them for, the 4th grade summer reading list or appropriate 4th grade level books. And you can find books that way, okay? Or if you want your kids to go ahead and just get their own books to build your home library, then, go ahead and go take a trip to the bookstore. Go to Barnes & Noble. Something interesting I found online is that some libraries and some organizations are involved in a Scholastic Summer Reading Challenge, okay? So if you Google Scholastic Summer Reading Challenge online, you can find the nearest organization that's pairing up and doing this, okay? And a lot of libraries will also do a book club, okay? So not just for adults, but also for students. And then Kim, okay, is going to be doing the Under a Shady Tree Summer Series here at a local park, where we're going to spend a couple weeks in July reading books to grade levels, I can't remember, but the younger ones, okay? So Kim can give you...
K through 4. It's for this one.
Okay, so K to 4, so perfect. So then Kim can give you all that information later on so you can know what days and everything like that. So middle school tips, okay? So studies have shown that student success in grades 6 to 8 has profound implications for their future, okay? So what does that mean? Attendance, grades, test scores during the middle school years all predict students' odds of graduating from high school, which in turn predicts future earnings, right? Okay, so that means that all those things from the previous slide are going to be important to help with academics and challenging them over the summer, okay? Another thing you can easily have them do, it's not going to just build their literacy, but also their writing skills, is have them keep a daily journal of their summer experiences. So if they are going to be mainly doing something recreational over the summer, okay, going away to camp, doing Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Boys and Girls Club, have them keep a daily journal of their summer experiences, because kids are texting a lot, kids are online, and they use shorthand language, which can really affect their spelling skills, their literacy skills, and their writing skills. So this can be very, very helpful for getting them a step ahead for the next school year. Okay? Then something I put on here is learning and practicing affixes. So you're probably more familiar with the term suffixes and prefixes, right? So if you actually just go to this website, which I'm going to give you guys all, these links at the end, is you can print a list of all suffixes, prefixes, affixes, and what this is really helpful about is if your child struggles with vocabulary, struggles understanding what words mean, struggles finding context clues, okay, this is going to help them if they understand some root words and they understand what adding TION at the end of a word means, if adding ly to the end of a word means. So this is going to be very helpful in building their vocabulary, not just for their current grade levels, but beyond as well. High school tips. Okay, so freshman grades predict overall high school success and admittance to college. Okay, so that means as a freshman, okay, if your child's GPA is pretty low, okay, then that predicts that through high school they're not gonna be doing as well, okay, and it predicts that they may not actually go to a more competitive college, okay. Now, what I always recommend and what I always tell families that come to my office that are early on in high school is I say, look, high school is not going to get any easier, okay? 9th grade, 10th grade is more basic, more foundational than 11th and 12th grade. 11th and 12th grade is just going to get more challenging. In some cases, you're going to be taking honors classes. In some cases, you're going to be taking AP classes. You're going to have prom. You're going to have a bunch of different things that are going to take up your time, okay? So focus on building the strong foundation of a good GPA, and the way you can do that is by making sure that you are ready for 9th grade. That transition from 8th to 9th grade is really crucial and very hard for many students, but especially boys. I find that most boys that transition from 8th to 9th really have a hard time with organizational skills, with study skills, with note-taking skills. So being able to even prep them to do that over the summer is going to be really important. And that can just be things as like talking them over how to use a planner, talking them over how to take notes, and that's all stuff that we can help with as well. Very important is understanding the role of PSAT and PACT. So a lot of schools started offering the PACT, where PSAT is something that's more well known to us, okay? So PSAT is basically called, it stands for preliminary SAT, okay? So that doesn't mean it's a practice SAT, even though it is in a way, but really it's an easier version of the SAT to kind of track how your child is doing throughout high school and their college readiness, okay? So that means if in 9th grade, some schools offer it as early as 9th grade, and sometimes parents don't know it. So ask your guidance counselors and ask if they offer it and opt for it, okay? Because you can get it for free. If not, you can come get a free one at our center, okay? And this is good because you can track from 9th, 10th, 11th grade how your child is progressing. What you don't want to see is you don't want it to see dropping, okay? And you don't want to see that it's just stagnant, okay? You want to see that it's growing, that they're learning, that every year of high school is helping with their college readiness. Okay, so PSAT, PACT does not really matter for college admissions at all. It's just for you as a parent and as your child to know how ready am I, how close am I to my goal to get into Rutgers. You know, am I ready to go to Harvard? Is Harvard a reality school for me, or is it a dream school? Okay, so that is a conversation I have with a lot of families, is their goals don't really match up with their reality. So how early tracking and preparing early and acting early, so finding resources, so coming to C2 or finding another prep program that's maybe offered by your school is going to be very important. Volunteering or internships. So I think that's older middle school students can really benefit from this as well. But mainly high school students, you know, especially if we're thinking long term, we're thinking, you know, college application and what are they showing for themselves, right? So if your child is a student who has sports and they play in the band and that's hard enough to keep your grades up and do well and keep up with all of that. So during the summer, they can focus on volunteering or internships. I know Kim has many volunteering opportunities all throughout the school year, but also the summer, okay? And I definitely have a list of volunteering opportunities throughout, you know, the town locally okay? And, you know, it doesn't have to be a one-time event. It could be something where they spend, you know, maybe 6 hours a week, maybe 10 hours a week. That is gonna really help in building job skills, okay? It's gonna help with leadership skills. It's gonna help expose them to potential career opportunities. And, you know, who knows, maybe next year they'll get offered a job at that organization, okay? Which is also gonna be really, really good in building their skills, and it's gonna keep them challenged, okay? Work experience. So work experience is a good alternative if, you know, you want your child to build some work ethic. Maybe they're lazy, okay? This can be a good way to get them used to, you know, working and earning something, but it also can build their resume and can help them build job skills. And then another important thing I would say is investing in perfecting talents, okay? So especially if you're thinking of having your child go to a more selective school, college, or university, you want to start thinking about how you can have your child have some kind of talent or ability that sets them apart from other students, okay? So having them learn how to play the piano, having them play lacrosse, having them do a sports clinic, having them do a summer music camp, okay? There are different opportunities and different things that over the summer especially you could take advantage of that time and have them working on those kinds of things. So I've listed a bunch of resources. So I've listed books, I've listed apps, I've listed you know, some websites, and then I've listed some of the things that C2 can offer to help you know, in aiding these summer learning opportunities, okay? So books, BrainQuest is a real good book and good company that you can find affordable activities right at the bookstore, right on Amazon, or even at a teacher supply store, and they have them that, you know, is grade level based. So they'll have like social studies, science, math, and English in one book. So 180 Days to Reading. So they have that per grade level, and I found that on Amazon, but I'm sure you can find it as well as the bookstore. Something interesting I found was summer bridge activities. So there's an actual book or company called Summer Bridge Activities where you can find per grade level that can help your kids, and why it's called Summer Bridge is so to get them from one school year to the other without that learning loss, okay? So pretty much if you're you know, still confused, you want to see what's out there, I would say go to a teacher supply store, go to Amazon if you're a Prime member, go to Barnes & Noble, take a look and see what they have. They really have a wide range of resources, and you can pick specific to your child's needs, to your child's you know, strengths and what they are interested in. Then there's some apps where I found that can be useful for specific skills. So one of them, which is good for iOS Apple users, is World's Worst Pet, and you can really focus on practicing vocabulary. Then there's Rocket Science 101, which is, I think it's more of like the engineering NASA themed for students who are really interested in space, and you can build your own aircraft, I believe. Then Rocket Math. So Rocket Math is something that I did as a teacher in my 4th grade classroom and my colleagues did, which really helped build basic math facts and addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So actually, you know, if your teacher doesn't do it in school, then you can do it at home. So you could do it online, you could do it on the phone app, or you can download the worksheets. I think there may be a cost for that, but you can go right onto their website. Just Google Rocket Math, it'll come up. Then your local library. Really, your local library is the best place to start this whole, you know, planning process of summer, because they have sometimes reading competitions. They have summer programming, which is like, they have specific events, you know, like SAT prep, like, you know, reading skills, like the book clubs, like, you know, maybe even a math club. And then they also have the suggested summer reading list, which we discussed before. Then these websites specifically that I listed, one is the Rocket Math one, One is a summer learning website, which can connect you based on your zip code to different places where they have summer learning programs. And then scholastic.com, where you can learn more about finding a local Scholastic Reading Challenge. So C2 down here is listed what we offer. So all year round, we offer free diagnostic tests. Okay, now that's for grade 4 through 12. If your child is younger, K through 3rd, we do charge a $20 fee just because they do need to be proctored. And so that will be a one-time charge of $20 if your child is younger. And then, after the diagnostic test, or if you don't want to come for a diagnostic test, I'll give you a free consultation where I'll hear and really learn about all your child's needs and your goals and guide you in the right direction. I meet a lot of families who just don't know what to do, and that's why I'm sharing these tips with you guys today. It's free homework help, okay? I understand that sometimes you're kind of in an emergency, your child doesn't know how to do their homework, you don't know how to do their homework, it's Common Core, even though they're 4th grade, you just don't know how to figure it out, okay? I have some flyers at the back, which is really a one-time only use, okay? So when you do come to our center, we will take down your information to track and make sure that you're using it only one time, but feel free to take a couple, share with your friends, share with your neighbors, and take advantage of our free homework help. That can also be a way for you, if you really want to get a taste of our center and the quality that we give and the one-on-one instruction, you can go ahead and take one of those on your way out, and even for the summer packets, okay? I know sometimes, whole summer goes, and you're away, and then you come back and you realize, oh my gosh, 2 days before school I have the summer packet and I never did it, okay? Hopefully after today's workshop that won't be you, but just in case it is, take advantage of that free homework help flyer, okay? Thank you so much for having me. Here's all my contact information. So again, I'm Ashley Steele. I'm the Center Director at C2 Education in Clifton. You can email me directly at clifton@c2educate.com. I will see your email. And this is our center phone number where you can reach us, set an appointment, set the time for a session for the free homework help, or just to ask any general questions. Thank you.